Hi everyone, my name is Anand Singh Yadav, and in this video, I'm going to discuss about what is method reference. It is one of the important feature of functional programming in Java. So, without wasting much time, let me first share my screen and jump to the Canva PPT. So yeah, I have created the separate PPT for this so that like very easily I can make you understand. So let me first share it. I hope now it is clearly visible. So method reference is one of the important feature of Java 8 and using method reference, developer life is going to be easy. How it is going to be easy, I will tell you later about this. So let me go through this PPT. So this method reference, as you can see, so before talking about method reference, let's discuss about one analogy, right? So as you can see on the screen, on the right hand side, on the left hand side, as you can see, there's a girl. Her name is Chinky. Right, just a second. I'm going to use text here. So her name is, let's say, Chinky. So Chinky. So what is the specialty of Chinky? So let me tell one by one. First of all, she is an experienced Java developer. She is experienced Java developer. This is the specialty. And she has written let's say thousands lines of code, thousands lines of code in her journey, right? So these are the specialty of the we can say Chinky. So I hope now on the left side we can assume like she is a Chinky, and let me use this arrow. She is Chinky. Got it? I hope this point is quite clear. And on the right hand side, we he is a Pintu. His name is Pintu, and he is fresher, right? He is fresher. He does not have like experience. So he is a fresher developer, right? So right now, Chinky is saying to Pintu, don't worry. I'm here to help you. I will help you wherever you will lagging, right? Wherever you need my help, I will help with you because I have already written lots of code for you, right? So wherever I know how is your journey is going to like how is like your journey is going to be. So don't worry, I'm here to help you. So how Chinky is going to help into, I will tell you about this story later. Okay. So I hope this point is quite clear to everyone. So don't go in deep. Like I have written this thing, but I'm not going in deep. Later on, you will get some idea like why I have written this analogy. So let's proceed. But before method reference, but right now, I'm not talking about method reference. First of all, let's talk about when we don't have the benefit of method reference. What is used to at that time? So I have written here very nice line. As you can see, this sentence. Please read this sentence. This is saying, how did we use to give implementation to functional interface? So before method reference, how do we use to give implementation to the method functional interface? How do we use to do? Let's understand. So generally we have three ways, right? So we will have three ways of giving the implementation to the method reference functional interface. The first way was using the conventional way. Got it? And the second thing using the anonymous inner class, and third is using lambda expression. So till now we have a three ways. We have a three ways to give the implementation to the functional interface, that is using conventional way, using anonymous inner classes, and using the lambda expression. Got it? So let me tell you one example of this. So in conventional way, what is used to happen? So let's say there's a functional interface. The functional interface name is say hello, right? So what does it mean by functional interface? You already know, like, which has one abstract method. So this is the functional interface, right? And it has only one abstract method with name say hello, right? So it is going to accept a string kind of parameter, and it is going to return a string, right? Got it? So this is the functional interface. So how will you give the implementation to this functional interface using conventional way. So simply what we used to do, we used to create the implementation class, right? We used to create the user defined class. Let's say I have created here class A and I implement that method interface, and I override that like method, right? Say hello method. And in this way, I have given the implementation. This is the first way. Using this, we used to give the implementation to the functional interface. Got it? This was also possible without like before even like using this approach, we can also give the implementation without like when there was not functional interface kind of thing in Java, right? So this is the very basic thing. The second thing, using the anonymous inner class. So let's say there's a functional interface, and if I want to give the like if I want to give implementation to the this function interface, we can do this using the anonymous inner class as well. So as you can see, this is the inner body of the anonymous inner class, right? So using this, we can also give the implementation to the function interface. Got it? And the third way, that is using Lambda expression. So let's say again the same functional interface, and using Lambda expression, now I'm giving to the like now you can see I've been given the I'm giving the implementation to the functional interface using Lambda expression on the screen. Got it? So this in this like right now we have learned, we have covered, right, using three ways we can give the implementation to the functional interface. Do we have some other method as well, right? Do we have some other options as well? Tell me, can we have some other ways so that like we can also give implementation to the functional interface? I would say yes. We have very good way, right? Better than Lambda expression, better than Lambda expression is all like is better than anonymous class, right? So Lambda like better than Lambda expression as well. So Lambda expression is already better, right? Using Lambda expression, we can write very concise code. Even like 15 lines of code we can write in one line using Lambda expression. But we have some very good way, right, which is better than Lambda expression as well. So do you want to know that? Do you want to know that, everybody? Please show some excitement. So for that way, we have a method reference. Again, I'm saying this is the method reference. अब समझते हैं भाई मेथड रेफरेंस ऐसा, भाई मेथड रेफरेंस में क्या है कि हम क्या कर सकते हैं, right? So let's assume one analogy, and using that analogy, we are proceeding. So let's understand about this. So I just want to ask one question, very simple question to everyone. When Java officially launched? Please type in the chat. So when Java officially launched, right? So I'm going to tell you the answer as well. So Java launched officially in something around the 90s, in 90s, right? 1990s. So officially it's launched in 1999, 95. Okay. And after launching, so it started with 1.0 version. It started with 1.0 version, and the right now it started, let's say, officially in 1995, right? And right now, as you can say, 2023. After 28 years, right? This is the 28th year, right? Or the latest version is 20.0. स्टार्ट हुआ था 1.0 वर्जन के साथ, अब अभी जो लेटेस्ट का वर्जन है दैट इज 20.0. आर यू गेटिंग दिस पॉइंट? सो in 28 years, like in 28 years, there will be like thousands of developers will be there, right? And once Java launched in 1995, from that time Java got popularity. Java is like all-time favorite language. Still in the market, Java has good value, I would say. Right? Java is still being used for like enterprise level application, right? Using Java, we can create business level application, very big business level application, right? So I would say like between in this 28 years, developers, they will be like lots of developers. So you like they have written their own like thousands or trillions of code or billions of lines of code they have already written, right? So I have also mentioned in 20 years, can't say like billions of or trillions lines of code have already written in Java, right? So let's assume one analogy. Let's say, in 2012, Babulal was like, let's say Babulal is an experienced developer. In 2012, Babulal has written, let's say, thousands lines of code in Java. He is really experienced developer. He has a good knowledge of Java, and he has written thousands lines of code in year 2020 into 2012, right? And again, Pappu is also like experienced developer in year 2015. He has written, let's say, thousands again, like he has written lakhs line of code. Let's say 2 lakh lines of code he has written, right? Again, Annu is also a developer in year 2006. See, till year 2006, he has written lots of line of code in Java. So they are very experienced developer. Like whatever they have written, we can use it rather than writing again and again, right? Rather than writing the same functionality which is already available by Pappu, which is already available by Babulal, which is already available by Annu. Right? Why can't we use? Right? We can use now. Why? Like rather than writing that code again and again, we can refer. We can take the help. We can using the method reference. We can refer that code. Right? We can take that implementation. Right? We can give the implementation to the functional interface using method reference. So even why I was saying that, so this is the better approach than lambda expression. So in just one lines of code, even in 2 words, we can write the big implementation using method reference. Got it? So uh, let's understand this analogy now. So here's a Annu, and there's a Chunnu, right? So Chunnu is a fresher developer. Annu is a experienced developer. So Annu is saying, Chunnu is struggling with let's say Chunnu has written one method, like, but he want to also write the implementation, but he is failing to write the implementation. So Annu is saying, and so don't worry, Channu, I have already implemented this functionality. You can take the help of this, right? You can take the help of my implementation, right? So we can already, like, Annu has some pre-existing method. So using that pre-existing method, Chunnu is getting like her pro Chunnu is getting his problem solved. Got it? So let's understand by one example. So you will get some analogy about it. So let me show some examples. Yeah, let me open my STS. So here I'm going to create one project. Project name is, let's say, method reference. Method reference. Okay. So in method reference, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one class. Class name is static method reference, right? Static method reference. Example. Got it. So I forgot to take the what I have forgot to take. I have forgot to take the package name, but it is okay without package as well. So we can take, no problem. So I can rename it. So inside the reflector. Okay, anyways. So what I'm going to do inside this only, I'm going to take one class. The class name is static method reference example. Okay. What is the problem it is creating? What it is saying must declare a named package because this compilation unit in association to be named. Okay, got it. So it is, we can take method name here. So I have not created for this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create one more package. So let's say static, the class name is static method reference, and I'm going to put it inside form.knowledge package. Okay. So if there is no problem now, we have put. Got it, everyone? So let's let's take one example. Let's say, let me, so let's say there's a one class, or there's a one class, class name is Anu methods, right? Anu methods. So Anu in 2012, right? He has written lots of static method. He has written lots, or we can say he has written lines of code, right? He has written thousands lines of code, thousands lines of code. So we are going to refer only few. So let's say in year 2000, like 12, he has written one static method. Let's say static void unknown fun, unknown fun. Okay, this is one of the method he has written. So this method is going to take a string name. So what it is going to print? It is going to print, let's say, inside a new method, welcome, and we can welcome somebody with a name. Okay. So this is this method, this lines of code is already written by unknown in year 2012. Okay. So let's say now here's a new developer. Here's a new developer. Here's a new developer. Okay. And let's create one functional interface. And the interface name is, let's say, demo. Okay. Demo interface. So inside this demo interface, okay, so it must have, if there is a functional interface annotation, so it must have one abstract method. Okay, so let's put one abstract method. So static. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put void print name method. Let's say it is also going to take a string name. Okay, so this method I have created. Okay, so so this is created by new developer. So what is used to, like, what will be there, like what will happen by creating this? So this new developer want, if somebody share the name, right, that name will print it with welcome, right? With that name will print it with welcome. Got it? So if he want to write its like he want to write the implementation, right? Then he can write using three ways. Like he can use the conventional way, he can create the class and implement this method and give the implementation. Like override the method and give the implementation. Got it? Using anonymous class as well. So we can do, but right now I'm not going to talk about functional interface. Sorry, now not going to talk about conventional way or anonymous class. We can easily talk about lambda expression. So we can give the implementation to this method, right? We can provide the implementation to this method using the lambda expression as well. So what we need to do, we need to take the interface name. So that's say demo intr. Okay, and then we can take the help of lambda expression. So in lambda expression, as you can see, there only one parameter. So you can take name, and with the help of arrow operator and name, and we are providing the implementation accordingly. So here I'm writing here, welcome. We can write here inside Lambda using Lambda expression, welcome and plus name to whom we are going to welcome. Okay. And simply just print this method. So don't need to just call this method. So demo intr dot get and there's a print name. And we can provide the name. Let's say Sunil. Sunil is a new developer. Okay. So right now I have given the implementation to this functional interface, right? This abstract method using the Lambda expression. We have given the implementation to functional interface using Lambda expression, right? So new developer. So if I run this code, as you can see, if I go for run this code, so there is no problem. So using Lambda expression, welcome Sunil. Got it? This point is clear. So although new developer, like being a new developer, what he has done, he does not he does not have any information about unknown method, right? About unknown method. So what he has done, he has what he has done, he has written the again implementation using Lambda expression. But now later on somebody tell this new developer, he says like, why are you using this implementation? Because we have already there there's a developer unknown, and he has a good experience, and some he has already written the implementation for this functional interface already. So why don't you refer this? Why इस बिहेवियर को आप रेफर क्यों नहीं कर? अब अभी हमने इस मेथड जो फंक्शनल इंटरफेस का जो बिहेवियर इंप्लीमेंट किया वो यूजिंग लेम्डा एक्सप्रेशन किया है. तो why don't you refer this behavior like using method reference, right? So तो इसको हम कैसे रेफर करेंगे? This is the point now. So we have a three ways. Using three ways we can refer this, right? How can we refer this? Let me show you that way. So just a second. Let me come back to my PPT. Okay. So here, as you can see, so what is method reference? So here, as you can see, I have written already. So this is the process of providing reference to the pre-existing method, right? This is the process of providing the reference to pre-existing method is called method reference, right? So which is already there, right? Which is already written by some experienced developer. We can refer like that implementation to give the implementation to the function interface. Got it? And the second point, instead of writing fresh implementation, I have like simplified it more in more way. So instead of writing fresh implementation of functional interface, we are using existing method which are well suited to the implementation of functional interface, such that pre-existing method should have same arguments in the number and type. The requirement is that has the same argument, right? Same number of argument, and the data type must be same. Like if the type and argument are same, then we can easily refer, right? And this to this line we will discuss later. Okay. So there are no restriction on their return type as such. So we will there's a no restriction on return type. So we will discuss more about it later on. So this point is clear. And the third point, it is more simplified form of Lambda expression. It is like more shortcut way of Lambda expression. So using this operator, this double column operator, right? This operator we can refer any pre-existing method, any pre-existing method. So this method reference implement functional interfaces with even lesser code than the Lambda expression and offers benefit of code reusability as well, because we don't provide an implementation for functional interface. So we provide the method reference support, and using that we implement the functional interface. This point is, I think, clear to everyone. Now let's proceed. So there are four ways. There are so using four way to type of method reference. The first is reference to static method. The second is reference to non-static method for particular object, reference to non-static method for arbitrary object, and reference to constructor. So types of method references, we have like 4 types of method references, and let's discuss one by one. So if I first talk about reference to static method, so what it does, it referencing to static method of a class or an interface, right? So it is reference to a static method of a class or a interface. Inside the interface, we can have static method as well, na? So we can reference to the static method of class or interface. So what we need to, how we need to like reference the static method. So first of all, we need to write the interface name, reference variable name, and then class name, and then the method name, right? So what we need to do, we need to write the interface name. So what we can do, so let me open my Sublime text editor. Just erase this thing, these lines of code. So here, what we can say, we have types of method references, right? So the first type is reference to static method. So how do we give the reference to static method? So I have already told you reference to static method. So what we are going, we are referencing to static method of class, or we can say interface. Okay. So how do we do this? What is the way? So let me write the way. How do we do it? So simple, we need to write the interface name. Here would be the interface name. Okay. Interface name, or we can say just copy paste. Yeah. So there will be interface name, the reference variable name, class name, and the method name. Okay. So just work on it. So here, as you can see, let's come back to the code. So here, undo method is a static method, right? So I just want to, this is the functional interface. I want to give the implementation of this functional interface. Why? Because as you can see, the parameter are same. Here's also a string. Name is a string type. Here name is a string type, right? And the number of parameter is also same. There's a one parameter. Here is one parameter. So we can easily reference, right? And the return type is also void. Here is also void. As such, there is no restriction on return type. We will discuss more about it. But see, if I talk about the like the parameter like both are same. So rather than giving the implementation using the Lambda expression, like can we use this like undo method using method reference, static method reference, because the method is static. Okay. So how can we do this? How can we do this? Let me comment out it, or let me write just a second. Yeah. So here, what I'm going to do, so we need to write the interface name. So interface name is demo interface. Okay. I have written it. So demo intr in demo in enter. Okay. Enter would be because intr I have already written. Then the class name. So class name is undo method. So just copy the class name here and the double column, right? And the method name. So method name is undo fun. So that's it. And semicolon. So there is no error. There is no error. If I call this method, so let's say I'm going to call this method by this name dot. So print name. So I'm going to provide the name, let's say again Sunil, right? Because now I have aware the Sunil, don't need to write the implementation. Implementation is already provided by undo. You can just refer. Got it? So if I run this code, so it is saying. So first was using the Lambda expression. Second is inside undo method, welcome Sunil, right? We have reference to the undo method, or it is also doing the same thing. It is also doing the welcoming. Got it, everyone? I hope this point is quite very much clear to everyone. Now let's discuss about some real life scenario. Okay, let's discuss about real life scenario, or we can say some good example. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to uh, remove this thing right now. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, let's say there's a class array operation. Okay. There's a class array operation. So inside this class, let's say there's a static method, static, or this will return integer, right? Or what it will do, it will get minimum item from the array. So let's say it will take integer as a int array as a arguments. Okay. So how do we give the implementation? So this implementation, this array operation, this class, let's say has written by 2014 in 2014 by Suresh. Okay. Or let's say by Pintu. Got it? So by Pintu, this class is written. So Pintu has written one static method, and this static method will take the integer array and it will return the minimum element inside that array. So what he has done in since how he has given the implementation. So let's assume min is something, the first element of the array. I'm assuming, let's say, so here I'm assuming min is the first element. Okay. So now using let me run one loop. So int array, and what I'm going to do every time I'm going to check min. If it is min is greater than AR, it means we need to change something. So we need to check, we need to change. So here we are updating the value for is smaller, updating the value for is smaller value. Okay, for is smaller. Got it? And after this, I'm going to return this min value. That's it. That's it. So this implementation is written by Pintu, right? He has written one class array operation inside this one static method he has written that will take the integer as a integer array and will return the minimum element. So now in 2023, Pankaj Pankaj has functional interface name. Let's say let's write the function interface. Okay. So interface, so array ops with the name array ops, and so it will return integer get minimum element from array. So it will take int array, get int array, and return the minimum element. See, as you can see, doesn't matter what is the name of the method, right? We don't need to take care about the what is the name of the method, but the arguments, but the parameter must be same in numbers and the type, both type and the number of arguments and the type must be always same. So here, as you can see, int array, right? If you want to match the return type as well, so you can see the return type. So can we refer this static method written by some other developer rather than writing the fresh implementation? Can be referred? We can easily refer. How can we refer? So there is very simple way. Just we need to write the interface name. So let's say array min element. We are going for min element, and then class name. Class name is array operation. This is written by some developer Pintu, right? In year 2000 something, right? So I'm going to refer that. So it has get minimum method. Okay. Get minimum, I think spelling mistake is there. Yeah. So I have referred, right? And after referring, it will return something. So I just want to print it. So how are you going to print it? So min element, I'm going to inside this, there is a method get min element from the array. And let me provide some array here. So let's say array is something int or int array. I'm going to provide some value to it. Let's say 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like this. Okay. So what would be the answer? Or let me also provide 0 somewhere as well, or minus value. Let's say -2. Got it. So if I run this, what do you think? It will return the answer as -2. Is it okay, everyone? So this is the power of method reference. So this is using the static method reference, or we have some other method as well. So let's say I'm going to take some other functional interface. Functional interface or interface name is, let's say I'm going to take as the interface name is string to int. Okay. So this this is the interface. Okay. So we need to provide. So what it will return? It will return integer value, and here's a convert method, abstract method convert, and it will take the string and it will return the string value. It will take and it will return the integer. So right, do you think like we have a string class, inside the string class we have a static method, right? Inside the not inside the string class, sorry, that is inside the integer class. So let me show you that thing. So yeah, so integer class in Java docs. Okay. So here, as you can see, inside this integer, and we have a one method name is, let's say, parse int. We have a parse int method. So as you can see, here's a parse int method, that is the static method. It will return the integer value. It will take the string, right? And it will return the integer value. So this method, right? Like this method is written by experienced developer, right? This method is written by experienced developer. Got it? So can we use this method? Can we use this method? Right? We can we refer? This is the string. I'm sorry. Let's open this parseint. Yeah. Just a second. Where is it? Okay. Parseint method, that is somewhere. Yeah. This is this parseint. So the parseint method, as you can see, we can use this method and it will return integer value, right? So I'm going to use I'm going to refer this method, which is inside the. So what I'm going to do, first of all, we need to write the interface name. Okay. Interface name. So I'm going to get int value, get int value. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I need to give the class name. So the class name is integer. And this is the static method inside the class integer. We have a static method parseInt. Okay. We have a parseInt. So what will do this parseInt method, right? This will take the string and it will convert to the integer. So let me call this method. So how I'm going to call cat int value dot convert. So inside this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to, let's say 49. Or if it make it integer, then I'm also adding 1. So the answer will be something 50. The answer will be 50. Okay. So if I run it, are you seeing the power of method reference? We are not having to write the implementation again. Using the method reference, right? Using just one line, using just two, like you can see, using just 2 words, we are giving the implementation. It is like more certain than Lambda expression. Got it? So I also, let me tell you one more example, then we will proceed to the next example. So functional interface. Here the interface, let's say uh, array equals. Okay. So this interface name is array equals. Inside this, it will return the boolean value. It will return the boolean value. It will check if array is array equals. So when an array is equal, so it will take, let's say, array 1, okay, and int array 2, okay. It will take two array, and how an array is equal. So first of all, the length of the element, let's say the length of the array must be same, and the element at the same index must be same, right? Element at this at index must be same, in element at the same index must be same, right? So this is how array will be equal. So let me give you one analogy. Let's say there is a array there's a array 1, 2, 3, 4, right? These are the element, and there's a one more array. Inside this array, let's say we have a something 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see in this example, as you can see, just a second, yeah. So at this index, first of all, the number of element are same, 4, 4, okay. And the second thing, element at index 1, there is a 1. So 1 must be there in the second array as well. At index 2, if in one array is 2, and the 2 is must be there in the second array as well. So this is how, if this is how this method will check like array is equal or not. So this is already written inside the array class. So we have a utility class array. So I can write here arrays class in Java. And let me go to the documentation. So here, if I check the equals method, so control F equals. So here, as you can see, there's a equal method, and to this method we are going to refer. So this is the static method. It will return the boolean if array is equal. Okay. So let's refer to this method, which is static. So how will we do this? First of all, take the interface name. Okay. And after taking the interface name, you can take check array equality, or you can take any name equality. So how we are checking? So inside the arrays class, we have a static method. That method is equals. Okay. That method. So we need to import it. So as you can see now, there is no problem. It is working. So can we check? So I'm going to check it as well. So check array equality, and then so equals, right? There's a equal inside this. There's a method is array, right? So in first, I'm going to provide some array, and the value I'm going to provide, that is something 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? The same thing I'm going to take in the second array. Okay. So as you can see, parameters are same, length is same, right? Element are same. So it means it must return true, right? And let me take two different scenario. Now, right now, I'm going to change any element at right here is a 9, here's a 2. So in the first case, it must return true, and the second state, it must true, return false. If I run it, see, it is written true, it is written false. This is how we can refer to the, this is how we can refer. Okay. I hope now this point is very much clear to everyone, or we got it. This is how we can use this static method reference. This is very, 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 very important. Method reference is going to make your life easy. So now let's take the second class. The class name is, let's say, reference non-static method reference, non-static method reference. reference. Yeah. So in this non-method, so we have done with the first thing. It means with the static method. So how we need to do? We need to write the class name and the method name. Okay. And the second method name, if I talk about the second one, just a second, why it is not working. So that is the reference to the non-static method for particular object, right? For particular object, reference to non-static method, how we are going to do. So if we are referencing to the method of a class instance, so like to non-static method, we can also say instance variable, instance method, right? This is non-static, also known as instance method. So how we need to reference? So it's very simple. So the interface name, the interface reference variable name, and the object. Now we need to create the object because we can only access the instance variable using the object. This is the very basic part of J111 concept. So method, the object name and the method name. Okay. So let's try this one. Let's do this. So let's say I'm going to create one very easy thing. Let's say class, or there is a Pankaj methods. Okay. So Pankaj has written some in year 2012, in year 2010. So what Pankaj has written? Pankaj has written some non-static method, right? So let's say void, or let's say it will return a string, or get name. Why get name, right? Why get name? So it will take the name and it will return that name. So this name, this method, right, written by the Pankaj. Okay, got it. And Pankaj like has written this method in year 2010. But now in 2023, there is a one developer, let's say Shivam, right? Let's say there is a developer Shivam. Shivam has one functional interface, and his functional interface name is, let's say, non-static method reference. Non-static method. Non-static. Okay. Method reference. MR I'm going to write. Okay. So we need to provide one, let's say, so again, it will return a string, and it is going to print name, right? So it will name. So this method is there, right? So Shivam, like what is like Shivam going to do? Shivam going to give the implementation. But let's say one developer say like Shivam to Shivam, like Shivam, like we have already one implementation written by some like Pankaj, right? It's written by Pankaj in year 2010. Then why are you writing again? Why don't you refer to that non-static method? So Shivam carry, okay, this is really fine if it is possible. So what Shivam done? Shivam refer to refer this implementation of Pankaj, right? And to the to its functional interface. So what he has done? He has written the interface name. So non-static method reference. Okay, and the object. So first of all, it must have the object, right? So he Pankaj, so he need to create the object of the Pankaj method class. So Pankaj object, right? Pankaj object obj, right? And new Pankaj. Okay, so now he is going to take the Pankaj object and the double colon and the method name. So method name is something get name. Okay, that's it. That's it. Using this, not like we are like in this way, like we are taking the help of like using the like we can also reference to the non-static method as well. So you so if I run this math, if I run this code, so how can we run this? subsum dot out println non. So there's a name, and I will provide the name, let's say Pankaj or Shivam. So it will return the Shivam. Okay. So see the answer. Shivam is coming. Got it, everyone? Like how Shivam is taking the help of Pankaj method, which is already written by like Pankaj in year 2010. So he's referencing to the non-static method of Pankaj. Let's see one very good example, right? So that like very easily you can understand how like going to do this. Okay. Can we use one very good example? So yeah, so let's take one example. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one example. Hmm, just give me a few. Yeah. So let's create one class here. So class name is uh, interest calculator. Interest calculator. Okay. Interest calculator. So let's say this is written by some developer. I don't know the developer name. We can in year 2000, let's say 15, it is written by some developer, right? So so inside this, there's a some non-static method. So let's say double and get amount by simple interest. Okay. So it is going to take principal amount, double, and it is going to return take rate of interest and the time, right? And the time, double time, right? In this way. So how can we calculate get amount by how can we create calculate the simple interest? So it's very easy. So let's say in this way we create. So the principal amount plus the interest. In this way we can create like check the simple interest, right? So how will we write this? So first of all, we need to check the simple interest. So simple interest, right? So create like calculating the simple interest, very good formula. So P into R into rate of interest and the time taken and divided by 100. This is how we will calculate. And we need to now calculate. So two decimal. So now so we have a double amount with amount and the principal amount as P plus simple interest. Or if I want to return it to if two decimal point, right? So we can use math dot round and the amount multiply by 100 and divide by 100.0. Okay. So this is how like I have calculated the simple interest. So this is this method which is like non-static method, and it has been written by some developer in the year 2015. But in 2023, there is a developer, right? He want to refer to this existing method, right? Which is written by developer in year 2015 for calculating the simple amount. So interface simple interest, or we can say the interest calculator. Interest calculator interface. Okay. So this will calculate in so how so let's say there's a we need to take the abstract method double get amount and these many variables will be there as a parameter. Yeah, this is the abstract method, right? So this developer who is he want to refer the code written by some developer in year 2015 to calculate the simple interest, right? So it's very easy. How he can refer? He need to write the interface name, okay? And after interface name, I test calculator interface, okay? So then, so this is for the simple interest. Simple interest. Or we need to write the object name. So how can we create object? So it's very using the new keyword and the class name. I'm going to do it very shortcut and the this column and the method name to which we are referencing. So yeah, done. Done. Is there any error? Is there any issue? Can we run this method? Can we run this? Yes, we can run this very easily. So this is how we can refer to the non-static method, right? So if I run the code, let me run it once. So it's going to return simple interest. So simple interest, and I'm going to call this method get amount method, and amount I'm giving, let's say 1000, and the rate of interest is something 10%, and the time I'm giving, let's say 2 months. So the answer would be, according to this, must be something 1200. Let's say the answer. Uh, it is okay. So 100% return if I'm taking, so it will definitely give this answer, but I'm checking for the 10% interest. So this will be something 1200. See the answer. Got it? Got it? Got it, everyone? How we have done this? If we are going to calculate, if we are take one more method, let's say for calculating double get amount. So let me copy paste this previous method. And for the compound interest, this is for the simple interest. Let me check for the compound interest. Compound interest. So for compound interest, what is the formula? Formula is very simple. So the principal amount we need to multiply with principal amount, and 1 plus rate of interest divided by 100 and the square by time, okay, or the power of time there will be. So this, got it? In this way we can calculate. So I'm going to calculate it directly. So amount, so the rate of interest is SP, and we have a math.pow use for the power, for finding the power, okay. And it will take two parameter, the base. So the base is something 1, the base is 1 plus r divided by 100, okay. This is the base, and the power is t, okay. This is how we have calculated. This is how we have calculated, okay. And now I just want to return it amount. So to two decimal points, so round off the amount, multiply by 100, divide by 100.0, okay. So if I check this, if I find the simple interest, compound interest, okay, so we can check compound interest. So here will be compound interest, and we are referencing to method. The method name would be here something get compound interest, okay. So if I check the compound interest here, let's say, so the answer would be something 1210. See the answer, 1210. Okay. So let me do the minimize little so that you can easily see the code. So this is how like we can take the help of non-static method reference. I hope this point is very much clear to all of you. Let's discuss about like non-static method for arbitrary object. Okay. So let me create the, so the third is reference to non-static method for arbitrary object. So what is arbitrary object? This is a random object, or we can say any object, right? Any object or random any object we are getting, that is called arbitrary something, right? So I'm non-static method reference to arbitrary method. Okay, let me, okay, so this is, we have written. So what is this arbitrary object? So let's take, let's assume one scenario. So let me take one. So I'm taking a list of string, and here the city's name, and the city's name is erased or to as list, and the city's name is giving in a mix, like let's say case. So let's say here the D capital, E for L capital, H small, I capital, in this way, right? Some of are written in the small, some of are in capital, let's say Kanpur, right? This is, and some of are written in, let's say, Noida in capital, some of are in mixed case, right? Let's say uh, Patna. So Patna is something like this. Okay. So here's a four string, right? Inside this list, inside this, inside city. So inside this list, we have a four cities name, which is in which is in the mixed case, right? Some of them are written in capital, some of them are in mix, some of them in small. So this is how we have written. Okay, this is like so now the main objective is, so we have written four object. We have written four object. Like four, we have a four string of object. But how, what I want to convert them either in small letter or in capital letter. All the string object, like all the cities name, I want to convert either in small or either in capital. How can we convert it? So what is we can take the help of like conventional approach. We can use lambda expression, right? But we need to do this using the method reference. So how we can do using method reference? So for, let's say I have a four object of a string, then we need to write. So let's say if I take the help of static method reference, then we need to write it four times, for because it is for the particular object. Now this is for the particular object. So therefore we need to write four times. Let's say if there is a five list of cities, and inside one there is a 10, and in combined if I calculate, it is 50 cities. So for 50s we need to write four time, we need to give the implementation four time using method reference, 50 time. So this will be the conventional approach. This will be the okay approach. I don't think it will be okay. So what is the solution? What is the solution? What is the solution? So let's say we have a functional. So arbitrary object. Let's first discuss about arbitrary. Non-static method. Non-static method reference for arbitrary object. Okay. So arbitrary means any random object, any object, right? any object we can like it is like arbitrary is known as like any object. So what happens in this case, here, as you can see, in the case of one object, we can use either non-static, either static. But in the case of, let's say, there are multiple, like there are like more than one, then we can, what we can do, we can use arbitrary object. We can use non-static method reference for arbitrary object, right? How we can use, let's say, let me take one example. So we have a one functional interface. So let's say it is taking a string and also returning a string. Okay. So like it is taking argument as a string and also returning as a string. So let's say name of the city name, city name, and I have a one method, right? I have a one method inside the string. So that is non-static method, but it is going to work. So the method name is to uppercase, to upper. Yes. Okay. This is the method name. So the method name is to uppercase. So as you can see, this is the like string class, and inside this string class we have a what we have a non-static method that is to uppercase. But for non-static, for referencing to the non-static method, we must take the object of string class. But it is working as a static method reference, right? It is working like a static method. So what does it mean? Why it is like working? So like this is like why this is happening? So 100% is similar to the static method reference. 100% it is similar to the static reference difference. But we use this we use this for the like this kind of thing, because in the case of let's say we were using non-static method reference for particular object. So in that case we are having to create let's say there are four string objects, so we are we need to give the implementation four times. But using arbitrary we can give it like very easily, right? So how can we do this? So we can using just use the for loop, and so for loop string, okay, for loop string. So for loop string we are going to do city's name, okay. Cn I'm going to write here, so city's name, and here what I'm going to do, so I'm going to print city name every time I'm apply, and I'm giving this each and every city name one by one in apply method, which is the method of functional interface. Okay. Or if I print it, so see the result. So result will be front of you, Delhi Kanpur. So what is the exact difference between because this is looking like a static method reference, right? So what is the first difference? So let me tell you the difference. So the difference is, let's say, so what is used to happen in the case of static method reference? So let me go to the static. So let's take one example of this example. Let me take. Okay. So just a second. Okay. So here, what is happening? So int convert string. So how it is converting? So inside the integer class, so we have what we have. We have a parseInt method, which is static. And inside this method, we are giving the string. So we are giving, let's say, string 45. Okay. So here we are converting now. So let me give here, let's say 45. or let's say the functional interface, let's say SMI dot convert 45. So this is working in this way. So in the case of static method, what is used to happen? So whatever the parameter we are provided, that parameter is also provided to the static method, right? Internally. That parameter is also provided to the static method internally. But but in the case of arbitrary, in the case of in this case, what will happen? So what I'm going to do, so let me copy this. Let me copy this. So here I'm calling this city name dot apply. So in this case, what is happening? So every time what is happening? So we are transferring but city name here. So let's say city name will be anything. So what we'll do, this variable, this string will call to the uppercase, right? To uppercase method. To uppercase method, which is the non-static method. So this is the main difference. So what you need to do, you need to check one important point when there is a non-static, when is a non-static method reference for arbitrary object. So this will look like a static method reference. You need to check. So in the case of static method reference, right? So one parameter, the parameter will be provided to the static method. It will provide it as a argument internally, right? But here, whatever the parameter you are providing, that will call to the method, that will call to that method. So this is the main difference, right? So if I take some other example as well, so let's say in the static, we have a few more example. Let's say in the case of this, in the case of this, in the case of this, so what is actually happening here, right? So what is happening here? So it is there's a arrays inside the arrays, right? So there's a equals method, equals, and whatever the parameter we are providing to the static method reference, the same parameter will be given inside this equal method, right? And it is only for the one object, and it is this arbitrary is work for the any random object, any kind of situation, like for like, got it? So this is how this non-static method reference for arbitrary object working. But in the case of, right, so this is the main difference, and this is the arbitrary object we are going to work with that. Okay, I hope this point is very much clear to you. Or we can use, let's say we have a list of integer, and let's say int list new, and let me take some arrays as list. I'm going to take here, let's say 2, 4, 5, 6, 30 minus 90, like this. And I want to sort it. I want to sort it. So how can we do this? So there's a collection class. Inside this, there's a sort method. And it's take. So this integer, inside this integer class implements comparable interface, and naturally it will sort into the descending order, ascending order. Naturally, by default, it will uh, if I want to change the so it will, right? So how it works? So they if I inside the integer class, we have one non-static method that is compare to, right? But here, as you can see, this is like a arbitrary object. So if I check or if I run it, so once I run it int list, so see the output. output is coming. Okay, it is sorting. So this is for the arbitrary object, I think. Okay, let's now discuss about control SN. Let me discuss about constructor method reference. Let's now discuss about constructor method reference. Okay, so we have discussed about non-static method reference for arbitrary object, for particular object as well. Now the last thing that we are going to discuss about reference to constructor. So how do we refer to constructor? So it's very simple, the interface name and the class name and using the new keyword. And one important thing is also written, we can allow the method to refer constructor that has return type void, right? That has return type void because constructor does not have any return type. So we can refer to that method that has a return type void, right? Also a method whose return type is class name, we can also refer. This is the important point. Okay, so in two cases we can refer. So let me take one example. So let's take one class, let's say player, and this class has one instance variable, let's say string name. Okay, string name, and using the constructor, let's say string name, and I'm going to write here one statement inside constructor, inside player constructor. Okay, or here I'm going to assign that value that we are providing. Okay, so this is also this class is written by some developer and there is a constructor and we are going to reference we are going to referencing to this constructor for the implementation. And let me take one let me override the toString method as well. So just go to source and let me override toString method. I have override as well. So I have a functional interface and interface create object. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, first of all I'm going to write here void create object, create layer object. Okay, and here I'm going to pass the name as a string name. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to refer, right? How I'm going to refer? First of all, we need to write the here, that must be great. We are need to write the interface name. Just a second, there was some interface name. So create object, and the what we need to write, we need to write the class name. So the class name is player and double colon and the new keyword. So this is how we have referred to the constructor of player. So how can we check? We can easily check. So we can call the method co, and there is a method that create co. Just a second. This is the class, not a method. So we need to create one method, and then inside this, now let me call the create object method. Yeah, create player. And here I'm going to provide, let's say, Pankaj. Okay, so if I run this, what will happen? So this will create the object. This will refer to this function, right? This constructor, and it will print this message inside player constructor. So let's say if I run it, so inside player constructor. Okay, let me take one more example for more clarity. Let's say what I'm going to do, I'm going to create right now. what I'm going to do instead of we have like void, I'm going to take here player. For the interface name, create another object. So create object. So the same method, like abstract method, I'm going to create another player method. Okay. So right now, again, the same thing I'm going to do. Okay. So let me give some space here. Yeah. So right now, what are the difference? What are the thing I have done? So the function interface name is different. So just change the interface name, create another object, player, and I have created the object. And I have creating the object. So I need to call this CAO, the reference of functional interface, create another object, and the I'm going to transfer the name using the constructor. So the name is, let's say, Sunil, and it will return player object, player class object. Right, it will return the player class object. Player. Okay, it will return. And using, so once I have override the toString method, so we can print player. So it will show me the name Sunil, or as you can see inside the player constructor once again, and the name is Sunil. So this is how we can refer to the constructor, right? Using the constructor method reference. Okay. I hope this point is very much clear to all of you. So using constructor, you can, so I have written one notes here. We can allow the method reference to constructor that has the return type void. So as you can see, the return type void is here. Okay. And the second thing, also method name has, would be the class type. So here, as you can see, the class type is player. Got it? So in these two case, constructor will constructor can work. Okay. Yeah, that's it. In this video. That's all about method reference. Thank you, everyone. For any question, if you have, you can discuss with me. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to stop this here.